Hey everybody, I'm Sara Wiseman. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about soul to soul healing and energetic cording as ways of healing a relationship. And so first I want to start out, what matters to us? And I've worked with lots of different people from all over a long period of time. And a lot of you guys out there too are practitioners. You've done the same, and a lot of you just come into contact with lots of people. And, we know that what gets people going, we think it's money or health or interests or success or whatever the material positions, but really none of that seems to matter to people that much. What really seems to affect people the most is the state of their relationships, how we are relating to the other people in our lives. And in a different subject, we've been talking about family karma and about the soul circle and the archetype in the family. And so here we're talking also about family, but we're also including the other relationships that are more the day-to-day relationships, also karmic, but it might be the people you work with or your friends or the people you're in some other kind of group with, or maybe the neighbors or the people in your community. We're including all these other people, of course. Just this whole bigger soul circle of people that we're coming across. And how do we keep those relationships in a place that is making us happy? Like it feels clear, it feels good, it feels like we're communicating with folks. Feels like it's respectful, and it feels like it's authentic. How do we do that? So I want to talk a little bit about that today, about some of the techniques that we can use to clear relationship issues as they come up. And so the first thing I want to remind you is always, whenever we enter into higher vibration, so whenever we go into the etheric realms, clairvoyance, clairaudience, sensing energy, communicating with your guides, any kind of meditative or trance process, whenever you go into this vibrational state that lifts you up, you become transformed by this energy. And so when you are starting to do this as your practice, when you're starting to do this as your practice, so where you're entering into divine space frequently and paying attention to the practice, you just start to notice what's happening. My relationships are starting to get better. I'm becoming more clear about my path. I'm beginning to trust the universe more. I'm starting to let go of anger and pain and fear. And you're feeling just more love more often. And the divine is becoming a source of support. Like it's something you can trust and count on. You're feeling part of this oneness. So this is where you go into these higher vibrational states, you work on it, it becomes your practice for a while. And then all this relationship stuff has to be dealt with. We can't do spiritual bypassing, or, we can, but if you just go, everything's love and light and everything's great, eventually the bigger karmic issue does have to be solved in one lifetime or another. So how do we do the trickier work? Not just going into love and light and being like, everything's perfect. No, that's spiritual bypassing. We got to do the work. We got to move through. And some of the things that we have to move through are healing relationships that have wounded you, making amends for relationships in which you have wounded, balancing relationships that are out of balance, understanding when a karmic crossing is complete, freeing yourself from relationships that are negative, stuck, or harmful, being open enough to truly love in this lifetime, being brave enough to call in your true beloved, being compassionate enough to heal from past love, using soul-to-soul communication to connect deeply with others, and healing relationships beyond time and space, even death, understanding your past lives to understand where you've been. So it's interesting because a lot of that list was also based on this idea of love relationships. And this could be the great love, if you've had that, or it could just be if you've had a variety of intimate relationships. That creates some karmic residue if you don't take the time to process your karmic crossing with each soul. And so some of the things that we can use, some of the tools we can use are soul-to-soul communication, energetic cording, vibrational alignment, trans-dimensional healing, karmic crossings, and karmic completion, sort of understanding those, aura blending, symbiotic blending, releasing via ritual, past life regression, healing with the mind, and healing through heart's opening. So some of those are bigger techniques, some of them are very precise. And if you have those in your sort of psychic and spiritual toolbox, you have some options when you're attempting to heal a relationship with a friend or colleague, or if you're attempting to heal those stickier love relationships that because there's intimacy involved and there's been more of a blending, you're going to have to do some bigger work or some deeper work to clear that stuff fully. And then there's simply the idea of understanding when a relationship is karmically complete. You know, we do clear karma, especially with the less important relationships in our lifetime. We are actually clearing karma with those souls. We may complete karma upon the first pass by them. It's usually the longer relationships, the beautiful long-term love relationship, or the horrible long-term ex-love relationship that is sticky and awful and traumatic. We got to clear that too. So what I'd love for you to do is sort of listen a little bit further. I want to talk about soul-to-soul communication and energetic cording just a little bit. So, sorry, okay, soul-to-soul communication. So we have talked about this in a little bit in other videos, but basically you enter into divine realm. You just close your eyes. You do your breathing a few times. You go into this space. You call in the other soul. And then you speak with them in the presence of your guides. And then you clear up. You listen, you speak your truth, and you do this with your guides. So there's a process for this, but that's the short version. Then, as you're doing this, you may feel truth come out that you didn't know was there because it's coming from your soul, not your mind. And you may also hear truth coming from the other soul that you had no idea was there. So soul-to-soul communication is a beautiful way to work. Energetic cording is a way that a lot of you guys have worked with. It's also wonderful. You go in, you're in this soul-to-soul space with the other person and your guides, and you just look, where are the karmic cords? And these will be visible to you. And sometimes people see them as strands of light or sort of almost like a white, almost like a noodle, or some people say it's kind of an ectoplasm. I'm not really sure about that, but it has sort of that look. Sometimes it's very symbolic, a great ship's rope or an anchor and chain or spears. So you look at the energetic cording that's there, and then you decide if you're willing to remove it And the thing that is different here is some people have the misbelief that you can remove this cording yourself. In actuality, this is the job of the guides. So you go in there, you're made aware of what's there, and then you ask the guides to proceed to remove whatever cording, whatever energy cording is there, as is determined by the higher situation, the bigger picture between you and this soul. Remembering that you and this soul have made lots of agreements. That's why that's why you're in this sticky place now, right? Because you've made agreements to learn these lessons. And so you may be in the worst situation with this other soul, especially if it's some kind of ex or ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-lover. And yet the cording may still need to be there because you've got multiple more lifetimes to go before you're going to figure it out. I mean, ideally, you'll figure it out in this lifetime, but that's up to you and the other soul. And sometimes the cords are beautiful. They're like beautiful light columns or light streams. And sometimes they're just little cords that don't need to be there anymore, and the guides will clear those out for you. So these are just two processes. The other ones to repeat. So we've got soul to soul communication, energetic cording, and then some of the others: vibrational alignment, transdimensional healing, karmic healing, crossings and completion, aura blending, symbiotic healing, releasing via ritual, past lives, spirit guides, and heart opening. And so these are all things I teach. Lots of courses for you. Would love for you to embark upon this path or continue learning more upon this path. My own teaching comes from, I meditate, I receive this from the guides. It's been very strange to have this happen in my lifetime, but apparently that's what I'm here to do. So I literally meditate and receive in writing or in just knowing, and then I transfer it to writing. And it's a pretty interesting process, this idea that we can both be in human form and in soul form, working on our karmic lessons on both of the realms. I'm Sara Wiseman, and you will find me at sarawiseman.com.